Hello and welcome to week 2 of our lower body strength and core. We are warm by now. You've already completed your warm-up, so we're going right into our first superset. Today we are following a different focus than we did last day, which was those pauses. Today we're focusing on the eccentric, which is our lowering phase. So we're going to start off with our squats following that 4-second eccentric lowering phase. We want to weight this. So we want to grab onto dumbbells if we have them. If we don't, we can add a band around our knees, widening up our feet a little bit wider than our hips. We are going to do 10 reps where we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we stand up and out of it, taking 1 to 2 seconds at the bottom and on the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we stand up. 10 reps total for those ones there. Right after we complete our 10, we will be going into a banded extension. So we want to add the band around our heels, around our ankles. If we don't have a band, we can always follow along doing the same thing without the band. Soft knees, hip width apart in the feet. We'll hinge our hips back and load up one side of our hips. So we should feel really tight on one side. And we're going to extend out on a 45, essentially trying to balance right here as we go through 10 of these extensions. So we'll go through 10 on this side over here, and then we'll switch, load up that other leg, 10 on this side over here. And following that, we're going to take some rest, 30 to 45 seconds before we complete 3 more sets total. So we have 4 rounds total, 10 of our eccentric focus squats, and then 10 per side of these banded extensions. All right, you know what to do. Pause, and I'll see you back here for part 2. All right, back at it, and we are here for some split squats with our rear foot elevated. As usual with these ones, we want to add some resistance. So we're going to grab onto our weights, holding one dumbbell in each hand, coming in front of our bench, our chair, elevating that back foot, working with that same 1, 2, 3, 4 second lowering phase to get down to that 90 degrees. 10 reps is the number to be on these ones. Going through 10 of that honest 4-second lower on each side. And with this one, we have a hip thrust. 15 reps total, nothing fancy about them. Although if you do want to add some weight to your hips, you can feel free to add that in. We have our upper back elevated on this chair. Feet are hip width apart. I want to make sure we're bringing our core together, belly button into the spine. And 15 reps total of these ones following our normal tempo, which we know is 2 seconds. 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. With these two, we are not taking any rest. So as you complete those hip thrusts, we are going right into our second, third, and fourth set, because you have 4 rounds of these two. 10 split squats with that slow lowering phase, and then 15 hip thrusts. All right, pause, and see you back here for part 3. All right, here we are for the last part of our lower body strength, which is going to start in a very similar position to the one you just finished in, with a single leg hip thrust. We're going to be adding in that slow focused eccentric on this one as well. 10 reps on each leg. Again, we want that upper back elevated. Feet are a bit more narrow in this one. We're going to lift the leg, push up to the very top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds down between each of our 10 reps total. We'll do this on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have a variation of a straight leg deadlift, which is called a good morning. Now for this one, rather than holding the weights in front of us here, we're going to hold them in a front-loaded position. We want that narrow stance in our feet, parallel feet, soft knees, working with a hip hinge. So we'll hinge those hips back until we feel that nice stretch in the back of the legs. And then we'll pull them forward to go through each of our reps, working through 15 reps total of these ones here. Same thing as the last superset. We are not taking any rest. We're just going to go between these two, back to back with no rest in between, through all of our 4 rounds total. All right, pause, get that work done, and I will see you back here for the core. Okay, we are here, back at it, finishing up our session with our core work. For this core work, we are down on the floor and we do not need any equipment, just a body and our mat and maybe some space so we can move that chair, dumbbells, those dumbbells out of the way. We are going to go ahead and set our timer right away here for 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. We have 3 movements, although one of them is a single-sided. So we're going to do 40 seconds on one side, 40 seconds on the other before we move on to the next 2. So 40 on, 20 off. Starting off with the first one, which is our V, cross, and touch. We want to start off getting into this V position, sitting on our butts, walking our hips back. So we're on our sit bones, not on our tailbones. Leaning back, lifting up the legs, arms come behind us. We're going to cross towards the knee, and then touch towards the foot. That's going to be us for 40 seconds. Now this one is a lot harder than it looks. So right off the bat, if you need to make this easier, what you can do is start off with your feet on the floor and have just the one side that you're working on off the floor. This other one can stay down. Again, 40 seconds, and then we're gonna rest for 20, take a few deep breaths, ponder our lives, and then get back into it for our second side, where we will be following 40 seconds on this side as well. That's going to be our first one. Second one, we flip over and we have a bird dog, alternating. So we want to get in our all 4 position, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. We're going to extend our opposite arm and opposite leg, right side and then left side, alternating our sides as we go through these ones. Doing this for 40 seconds total. If we want to make this a bit more challenging, we can lift up and hold before we come back down into the starting position here. Right after that one, last one is going to be a plank with toe taps. So we're down on the forearms, parallel forearms, strong plank position, and we're going to tap our toes right side and left side for our 40 seconds. That would be one set. You are doing 3 of those today. So we want to go ahead and set that timer, 40 on, 20 off, 3 sets total, and then you are done. After, of course, you get your stretching in, which you know you have to scroll down to find after today's session. All right, get it done, and I will see you guys next day for our upper body.